our stuff when they give it back. So they have to audit it. Remember when it was time to shut the corporations down, the Pope called all of the wealth for the Vatican. Now America, the Republic under Donald J, is calling in all of their money. It's time to pay up. It's time to pay the piper. The bill always comes due. It's checkout time. Get my money to the house. I need to cash my chips. We win, they lose. They not like us, but they thought they was slicker than us. But they ain't know my uncle was Slick Willie, a modern day hillbilly. All their secrets get exposed by their activities. If we don't be narrow-minded and believe the hype, because a lot of things is dogmatic. Anything that tells you to influence how you feel about other people that you don't even know, that's a control measure. But something that tells you, that inspires you to be the best in who you are, that's a liberation measure. And you can feel the difference in the energy, because it feels better to celebrate than to do the player hate. I'd rather buy you a cake than watch you fall in one. I feel better about being able to give you a cake than to watch you destroy your cake. Some people can't wait for you to destroy your cake because it ain't their cake. They just waiting, and if they can help you, they're gonna try to trip you so you can land face first in your cake. They don't want to see you win at no cost, not because you did something wrong, but because they think if you win, that mean they lose. That mean they ain't really on your team.
True.
My whole team is shooter. If one shoot, we all gonna shoot. So I gotta keep them all separated in different places. Can't none of them be two together at any given time unless something gets shot up. Because we don't play about each other. So to maintain the peace, you separate the pieces. Everybody know their position. All they got to do is be themselves, and they're going to be playing their part. Then when it's time to square up, ring that bell. It's meal time.
Couple more. What does or do the Jesuits have to do with all this?
The Jesuits is part of all of the secret societies infighting for dominance and supremacy and control over the information that control the spiritual development of the masses of the people. The Jesuits were actually rebels of Catholics in the Catholic Church, trying to overthrow the Catholic Church from the inside so that they can give everything back to Isis, the Great Mother. So that's why you got three different popes, because you got three different denominations or three different jurisdictions playing out. And the Pope is the highest imam on the land. And the Pope is the highest rabbi. How can that be? Because he's the highest Christian too. Then next they announced the death of the Pope. The death of the Pope means the death of the Catholic Church, because they already said he was the last Pope.
This one looks like he's on his last leg.
They just gave the report. He on his last leg.
Oh, as I said, it looked like what's some pictures I saw.
But really, that's just the cover story, because the Pope was an android. Pope Francis, they've been taking him apart, put him in the box and slide him under the bed at night. They only bring him out when they need him to be seen. Because the pedophile they used to that they use as that image, he been electrocuted.
Okay, we're gonna get off of him. Okay, all right. Here's it. Okay, so he says, what's up with the white people walking down the street with Germany flags, I guess German flags in Ohio?
That's controlled opposition. It's an antagonist method. They was put there by the police. It's not even a secret. Not only were they put there by the police pretended not to know why he was taking them there. And not only did they pick the spot, they picked the spot where the school would be, where would make the parents most offensive. It's controlled opposition.
Wow. Okay. Here's one other. Okay. Can you ask Big Chief High Priest Rod Hayes will hit us with a class? Well, can't do a class, not with this time. On mitochondria on how it affects the sons. I think he'll knock it out the park. We'll come back and do that.
I've done a couple of them already.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I done quite a few. I did some on Young Elder channel, and I got some on my Instagram and my Facebook.
Okay.
I got quite a few of them where I deal with that.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Barron, on the Baron, Trump's youngest son?
That's my boy. That's my boy. He's learning to do a couple of things. He's learning the code flip because he's really good at it. Because he told us to listen, but we ain't even here when he dropped the statement. It was coming. It was coming. Then he dropped a statement about the corruption of the corporation and draining of the deep state. But most of us missed it because when he told us to listen at the inauguration, we wasn't really paying attention. He's a good student. He's a student of he's an intelligence student, like military intelligence. He's getting really good. He's learning character development, how to carry yourself like you know, the most loved prince. Because if you carry yourself like the most loved prince, it's gonna make all the people love you. Just don't do no dirt and live your life, and they're gonna treat you like you gold. It's the nature of the people. So he's getting all the lessons. He's really good. I pin his award myself.
Well,
give him his Oscar.
Well, so I'm gonna. I know this is probably lengthy, but this she didn't put this in here 10 times. Don't do that, y'all. Y'all don't have to put the same thing in here over and over. Please don't do that. That only makes me irritated. I'm just saying it. I'm just gonna be honest. You know, somebody put the same question in over and over, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not answering my, and I might not, but I'm just gonna, let this be the last one. But so how do we get our land back with them on it?
How did they get it from you with you on it? With the stroke of a goddamn pen. And ta-da, it's fixed.
Yeah. Okay.
They told us they stole our land. I keep seeing the land when I look out the window. I don't know what they're talking about.
Somebody said this: charge them rent and lease them with a raise.
Treat them like they're on child support.
Right. Something like that. Right. But listen, thank you for, it's 2 hours in. I'm not gonna keep you. I would love to, but we'll save something for the next couple months and then come back on.
Oh yeah. I always have a bar when I come on with you, Dr. G. We click.
I know, and I just love having these conversations. I love it because I really don't have to say a lot, even though I do interject every now and then. But because you could, I just had to turn turn you on. And then once you get started, you on your own. So yeah, so all you 943 plus folks on here, I hope you press like. I didn't say anything, but I hope you did like. I hope you did share. I hope you did, will support us. Folks are asking about Grand Sheik. Grand Sheik is coming along. He is in the healing process. Thank you for asking. Thank you for supporting him. And thank you for your continued support of the house. a Reawakening Minds of my guests that, you know, come on here. I want him right back here beside me, but not before he's feeling better, you know, doing well. So in the next, you know, months or so, maybe a couple months, you will be seeing me with other guests to, you know, fill up, make sure I'm here on Tuesdays and Fridays, at least try to do at least, you know, one Friday a month, if not the two that we normally do. But he will be back, y'all. So for those of you who care, you know, continue to send that love and light and energy to him, and we appreciate that. Appreciate it to the utmost. And again, Chief, it's like I said, it's always an honor. You know, I'm honored because I can pick up the phone and call you. So but I got, you know, and my I have something that I'm going to send you, but a sister friend of mine who is an author, she sent me the PDF of her brand new book, and she said, Sister Laverne Thomas L. has a brand new book out, and she said, could you make sure that Chief gets a copy of this? And I'm going to
She haven't started printing hardcovers yet.
No, but it's called Big Mama Stargate, and she wants you to it's called Big Mama Stargate, and I'm going to send it to you, and you know,
yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah, because she said yeah well, it's the book Our Relationships Need. Actually, it says 101 questions you should ask yourself before becoming emotionally, sexually, or financially involved with another person. Workbook. It's called Big Mama Stargate, from Big Mama's perspective. So we'll send it to you, get it over to you.
I want to check that out.
Okay. Listen, y'all, thank you so much for being on here with us. And I'm doing better. I'm doing better when people, you know, try to be disruptive and crazy in the chat. Yes, I do need a moderator or two. So I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? But I would be great if somebody else was in there, like knocking them off the platform instead of being me all the time. But you know what? I don't mind if I have to. I like block parties anyway. But thank you so much for your attention, for your time, for your love, for your feedback, your positive feedback, and even the negative, because you know it made the rest of y'all, you know, have to stand up and say, look, we're not standing for that. So listen, Oak L, if you did not, you must have just logged in if you were asking me right now about an update on Taj. I just gave it. Go back and replay this and get to the end, and then you'll hear me what I just said. I'm not saying it again. Love you. Not saying it again. You must have just logged on. Honestly, did y'all just hear me talk about Grand Sheik? Yep. Like not 5 more minutes ago. All right. Love you. I'm getting ready to play the long version out. How about that? Make sure you support our brother, the Chief. Here's his Cash App. Make sure it says Rodney Hayes, because it's some other folks like they did us on us. Other people made fake stuff that was close to House of Real Awakening, even used a picture, and then I ended up losing the Cash App, my Cash App, House of Real Awakening, my Cash App, because people were creating other stuff and, you know, defrauding. House of Real Awakening Minds does not have Cash App, so please do not send anything that you think might be us, because it's not, because we don't have it. So we have what you see here, Zelle and PayPal, but we don't have this other stuff. Thank you so much. And again,
how you doing?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's on your mind?
I can't see you. Am I supposed to
be? Yeah, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. First I wanted to compliment you, I guess. I appreciate your range of the topics that you have a lot of knowledge on. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have a question about if you produce something that people use for like a spiritual tool, how can you go about blocking them from draining your energy because you produced it and they're using it as a tool?
When you Okay, so this is what the shamans used to do.
Okay.
When, let's say, for instance, I'm an artist and somebody commissioned me to do a tarot deck.
Yeah.
I don't want my energy to be permanently tied to the tarot deck. So I create, um, we used to call them satchels. And I would put the tarot deck in there, put it in salt before I give it to the person to remove with the intent. Because it got to be conscious, willful intent. And being a shaman, you would know how to focus your intent on cleansing your energy from the deck before the transfer. When the transfer comes, any good tarot reader is supposed to charge their deck. That's where you took your energy off. They had to put their energy on in order to be able for their subconscious to control the flow of the cards. That's just an example. Same thing work when you make a talisman or anything like that. But some stuff you want your energy to stay on. Like, let's say, for instance, they commissioned me to paint a mural. My
Right.
energy is what it expands my reach and resource, and it also contributes my energy to the society or all of the viewers of the mural. But private artifacts, like let's say I commission a guy who molds steel to make me a knife for my kitchen. He can, when he get done forging a knife and putting it in that, he can leave it sitting on salt overnight. Um, they used to sit it on salt mixed with something called saltpeter. It's like a sawdust. And they would put the knives on them to take their personal energy out, but then they have to do one more forge. And a lot of times the person who was having the artifact made left something of theirs to be infused into the artifact in order for it to have their energy prominently in it. A good example is when Shaka Zulu was having his spear made. He had to describe to the shaman his energy that he wanted infused into the spear. Then he had to link the energy once it was done, right?
As a weapon.
Yeah. So the shaman have to disassociate his energy in order for Shaka to successfully attach his. They use the water element for it over there. Well, most people that work with steel uses the water element as a purification of the steel. That's why they
Okay.
always dipping it in water and dip it in the water, cool it down, heat it up.
I have kind of a funny story about the tarot thing that you were talking about, energy transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I used to go to a tarot group. This has been years ago, and I always knew that my energy was a lot stronger than the people that I was sitting next to, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And someone asked to borrow my deck, and I was kind of particular about that. Some people I wouldn't let them, but he was okay, and I let him. Well, he would always take a pendulum and put it over his deck to center it to himself, and he couldn't. He couldn't do it over my energy on my deck.
Yeah.
It really upset him. He was like, I was like, well, it's my deck. That's me right sitting there on that energy.
He didn't tell
But
you. He didn't tell you what that mean though.
what he was doing,
No, no, no. When he couldn't make it center on your deck, he didn't ever tell you what that meant.
for me, it meant he couldn't control that deck because my energy was all over it and he couldn't override it.
That's
Is
part of
that
it.
correct?
That's part
Okay.
of it. But it was also he supposed to told you that you're not supposed to lend your deck to nobody.
Well, technically, it was my deck that I had just purchased, but as soon
Right.
as it reaches my hand, it's mine, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it don't matter.
And
When you when
the deck I
when you
didn't care
accepted
for,
it as yours,
I
you not a
didn't go.
you had to for it not to cooperate with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I had just purchased the deck right before I went to this shop, you know, this group meeting or whatever. And as I was flipping through it, I was like, I didn't really like some of the major cards, right? That I kind of have to, you know, light before I, you know, want to use the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd only had it for like half an hour or something. And I was like, well, you can have the deck because I didn't want it. I only spent like $15 on it or something. And when I tried to transfer it to him, he couldn't override it. And so I was like, well, you know. So I cleared it off for him, but it was just an interesting thing because it surprised him.
But
Um,
in your tradition, like for instance, your personal decks that you use, you're not supposed to let people handle them unless you're doing a reading for
there was a couple that I would do that with, but most of them I won't. Some of the people's energy, I wouldn't let them touch them. I
them.
didn't care if I was doing a reading for them or not.
Now,
And then, of
that's a
course, I didn't do
that's
it
a
for
spiritual
everybody.
self giving you instructions on people you ain't supposed to interact with. If you can't,
Yeah,
if you feel that energy, say don't let them mix energy. That mean that get the motherfuckers away from you.
yeah. Well, this was a public thing that I couldn't control who was there, but I just stopped interacting. I haven't been there for years.
hmm
My
That's
my
why it's not for
concern.
everybody. Only certain. You might not be one who you do public. You need your own space where you have people come in that you interact with personally as,
Right.
as a priestess, so that when they come in, you smudge them in the mud porch. You're doing smudging ritual before they enter into your chamber or where you read at, and it also it makes your message so much clearer. It's almost like you reading words from a book while you describing it to them.
I don't do readings for other people anymore.
Yeah.
Just my dog. Yeah, I don't.
I don't
They
I
were
don't do
too
I don't do
accurate.
readings for people either.
They were too
Not with the deck.
accurate.
Yeah.
In fact, the oddest story I had doing tarot. I had a stranger wanted me to prove that tarot was real, and I was fairly new at it, so I didn't realize how that might have some circumstances around it.
Hmm.
Her reading was too accurate. I found out about his ex that he had witnessed dying and all kinds of stuff. Scared the shit out of him. Scared me too because I was like, hey man, I don't know why I'm hearing all this. But I was fairly. This was a long time ago. My only concern about what you're talking about as far as the energy transferring and clearing it, that's more of a, I'm giving you an item that I have handled, that I have, that I'm transferring to you. What I'm going to be producing, I'm actually painting the tarot deck, but which means it will have my energy because I've created it, right? It has my vision and how I'm seeing the cards and stuff, but it's going to be mass produced to a certain extent where it's going to be printed somewhere and printed or shipped to them, and I won't ever, I won't see any of that process. So,
Right. Okay, so before you send it to be mass produced, then you have to spread all your cards out and face them up and under the full moon and order your energy to remove itself from the cards. You are the author of that. So, and then you explain while you looking at the deck, you looking over them. You got to explain to your energy what you don't want them to do, and or
okay.
they're gonna do it automatically.
Now, see, I'd already thought about that. The deck itself is melanated people, and I was concerned about that being something that would be a target for some people. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
I mean,
Most of the
that's the
people,
extreme.
most of the people that deal with tarot decks is really good people.
Yeah,
Most of them,
yeah,
yeah, most of them not in it for the BS. I
yeah.
wouldn't
Most of,
worry. I wouldn't
yeah, I would
worry
say
too
most.
much about that part. I would, before I send it out to be mass produced, I would give my energy instructions to separate from the results of the card
Right.
readings
Okay.
and any of the magic done with the cards.
Yes,
But you want to do it under now. Why I tell you to put it under the moonlight? Do you know?
I haven't done too much moon magic. Some of it backfired on me, so I don't really mess with it.
You know,
So
tarot
yeah.
is moon magic, right?
Hmm.
Tarot is moon magic. It's
Um.
100% moon magic. It's derived from
I'm not
moon magic.
disagreeing. I'm just saying that
Lis-
I don't. I
Listen,
never
listen,
really.
listen what I'm
Okay.
explaining to you.
Okay.
Tarot cards are moon magic. This the feminine silver cord energy that's called the silver key, the lunar key, the key to the magic of the moon, which governs the night life, and the night light becomes the moon. The moon is the light that illuminates the darkness in the mind of the oracle. This is why they all pay homage to the moon with the crescent on their head. And the crescent takes many positions based off the user's energy field. The tarot was written by Tahuti in its origin, or Thoth. And the purpose of the tarot was to train the psychic to see in the darkness of their mind, using the training of the tarot in order to illuminate the darkness to tell you what it sees in the images. The reflection of the solar light, which comes from the sun magic, which is astrology, astronomy. What's your astrological sign? Now you're using the sun to reflect the moon magic. But all of the magic in the tarot card is infused from moon magic ritual rites of the oracles of the earth. It was designed to train oracles to be able to not need the cards no more. That's why it was originally created. In order for you to have a language that you can translate the unknown into the known before the actual event or in the real time of the event. Sometimes you do a tarot spread, it's more impressive that the person know what's going on in their life right now than it is in 5 years. But in another tarot spread, it's more pressing that they know what they need to do now to be prepared for this event that's to come in about 5 years. So when they read the card, the tarot reader reading comes out and you'll know the time frame from what it is referring to. What's their tower moment, right? Do their tower moment seem such a far away because he's only beginning his journey as the fool? Or do it look like it's materialized and mature as he sits up on his throne as the emperor, right? So you're reading the energy. Each each energy comes with symbols and signs. The symbolism that you use to infuse a new deck that you create is your subconscious instructions on how to train your future um, trainees in the art of reading their subconscious mind, and you use the art in your cards as the tool for the training. But what you don't want is the bad kids that's breaking into the school that's trying to be funny using the dark arts to use your energy, your creation, because you concerned about the karmic backlash. When you put it under the moon and you instructed not to participate in the shenanigans, then when people try to use it to do what's wrong with it, it's going to force them to do something right because you took your energy off of it and it has to have balance. They
And
have
it's
to
gonna
charge.
boomerang.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
why I was asking you if you knew what kind of magic tarot was because it's absolutely moon magic.
I had no idea that. I mean, I always thought that they were, a lot of the tarot decks do a lot of Hecate, homage and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they use the moon, of course. But when I picked up tarot, I was trying to figure out why I was able to read energy so well. And when I would tell people certain things, they didn't believe me. But if I lay down a card, then they believe me. Does that make sense?
It's used
A
for
lot of times I
too.
didn't need those cards.
Yeah,
Huh?
that was the second level of tarot reading. That you really don't need them, but
Hmm.
you use them for the person who don't understand what you're doing to have something as a frame of reference.
Right.
So now they say that you interpreting the cards, or you're not interpreting the cards, you interpreting the
Energy.
energy. You use
You taught me
you
so much
yeah.
here.
So now you use it as a tool. That's the magician's wand. It's a second phase. But once you get to where you can communicate so clearly with a person that the communication prints the card in their mind, that's when you don't need the cards no more.
But see, what you told me today, just with that kind of, you know how like you'll hear something and it puts things that you were kind of had question marks and it kind of lines all up.
Yeah.
That explains a lot of the activity on the airwaves in the last couple years. I stopped reading tarot and it was coming in whether I was going to read the tarot or not, I think.
Yeah. So so you're reading the tarot, you're going through the three stages. The first stage is learning how to interpret the energy, right? That's the first level of it. Because you're looking at the card, you don't know what it means, you don't know what it feel like, but you got to figure out, how do I tune into this card in order for me to know when I see this energy what it is?
Right.
Because it's gonna play out in real life, but now you got to translate. You have to flip your tarot lens into the world. You're not gonna learn that before you learn how to interpret the energy of the card. Now,
Right.
now that you know how to interpret the energy, you go into what's called phase two, which is the practice phase. The practice phase is you need to build a language stock of communication techniques where you don't need the card for the other person to understand when you're reading the energy that you accurate. They need the magician to have the wand, but the magician can wield the magic with or without the wand.
Right. Right.
Now, if you catch the magician away from his magical supplies and he have no wand, he can still do the magic. Now, in the class two of tarot reading, and use